You guys have heard of QAnon, right? The like crazy Q, trust the plan, where we go one, we go all, Trump loving conspiracy theory that has popped up on the right in the last couple of years. Um, it was like a haha funny meme at first, but the rate and the ferocity at which it's growing is worrying and should be worrying to anyone who has like at least one working synapse in their head. Um, QAnon is the group that started Pizzagate. Their whole thing is that all of the elite and the political elite, they're all like pedophile sex ring deviants who drink demon blood and use like baby limbs as necklaces or something, and then go bowling with the heads of fetuses. I'm not sure. It's a lot of crazy stuff in there. There's like a whole deep state that's controlling everyone, and Trump is there, and apparently he was working with Robert Mueller to like destroy it, and just trust the plan, guys. Just trust the plan or something. I don't know. But it has grown in the last couple of years to frightening heights, from Trump's past lackeys expressing support for QAnon, to the union boss of the NYPD having a QAnon mug in the background of his interview with, I think it was MSNBC. And now recently there was a person going to Congress who is just complete, full QAnon, just crazy person, right? And their name's Green, and what they're doing is they are moving into Congress with the exact plan of moving her wild conspiracy ideology into Congress, to, I don't know, destroy the deep state. The funniest thing is that this really shows how the Republicans they're just not made to be a party that's in power. That's what fascism is all about. They want to be in power. They really want power, but their rhetoric is not built to get and maintain power, because their whole thing is that the system is against us because we're the truth tellers, and no one and people are here to stop us. I mean, that's why Trump still harps on about like the freaking deep state or whatever, and him being like the underdog, but then having the silent majority or something. Like, the threat is always too big to comprehend and beat, but also weak and irrelevant. It's like the people talking about Antifa. They'll like swing wildly like a pendulum from Antifa are just people in their mom's basement drinking Danimals and eating like hot pockets, to their organized group of terrorist militiamen here to destroy America and piss on our Vietnam-made plastic American flags. Just wild shifts between these two like certain like ends of the spectrum. And it's because they're just not meant to be in power. They're just like purely rhetoric. That's all they have. It's one of the massive reasons why Trump's been such an ineffectual leader. The problem is, this one candidate in Georgia isn't the only person going to Congress who's or even running for Congress who's very close to QAnon, because there are actually up to 75, at least 75 known QAnon supporting congressional. Yeah, Papa was okay. Uh, we have a we have some people in the house, and they walk by, and he didn't recognize the footsteps, I guess. There are about 75 known, at the very least, known congressional candidates or people going to Congress who support QAnon. Mind you, QAnon is the ideology that led to the shooting up of that pizza place. Who said that, like, I don't know, Hillary Clinton and like Maxine Waters and Epstein Nancy Pelosi are like raping kids and drinking their blood in the basement of like random pizza parlors, right? This is a violent group of conspiracy theorists, and we can see. Listen, look. Here's where we go one, where we go all. This is QAnon. Oh yeah, and also the QAnon thing, like right here, Q, and this is the person running for Congress. He's running for the 7th congressional district. Joyce Bentley in Nevada. She won her primary in the general election. She's deleting, yeah, and they're trying to like backtrack on it as soon as people like come to them like, so QAnon? See, and QAnon is taking over. I'm so glad that Twitter banned it. You'll see like a lot of these. These are kind of old now because some of these are kind of old. This one was from back in freaking July. I'm not sure if that's where the that's when the Q ban was, but here it is, the old like QAnon phrase. So some of these we're going to be seeing are from places like Facebook now. Much of the newer ones are going to be seen on Facebook now because it's much easier. Yeah, see, there's another one from Facebook, because Facebook has been using their platform as a bastion for these like conspiracy theories to thrive. Okay, and this is why these ones need to be banned, because I mean, people will say like, you don't want these things to hide in the darkness or anything so they can grow. They don't grow. Okay, there's a reason why a lot of conservatives harp on and on and on and on about deplatforming. It's because deplatforming works. All right, they'll posture like they don't care about deplatforming, but in all actuality, they're scared shitless of it because they're going to be almost irrelevant because of it. I mean, lots of people that you hear from, you don't hear from much anymore. I mean, Nick Fuentes, he still has a Twitter, but he was banned from YouTube and a lot of other places, and he can't dog whistle as hard as he can on Twitter lest he get banned than he did his YouTube, where he said everything that he wanted to say. So this is just gonna push it away from your dad, your grandma, your aunt, your husband, your wife, your NB partner, from getting sucked into the QAnon vortex. Well, they'll never get out. It's so hard to pull a lot of these people from this rabbit hole because it's just purely irrational. It's hard to rationalize it's hard or almost impossible to rationalize someone out of an idea that they didn't ration themselves into. If you just stumble into QAnon and you get forced down that rabbit hole, it's very hard to pull you back out because you didn't get there for rational means. You almost cannot be pulled out through rational means. It's just a lot of work. We have to go through sometime QAnon, what's it called? QAnon casualties. It's like the saddest place on the internet where people are talking about how where people are talking about how like I remember there was a story about this woman whose husband left the house crying and just drove off randomly, and she didn't hear from him for like a day because she said that she talked to the doctor about getting her son like a flu shot or something, and he's like, and ever since he dove into QAnon, he became like a massive anti-vaxxer and everything. It's really sad. You don't even know anything about Q? Don't worry, I know enough. And he became like a massive anti-vaxxer. So there are lots of people losing loved ones, losing family members, having to disconnect from a lot of people, like even defooing. That isn't a term from QAnon. That's from other things, but just completely disconnect yourself from your family. And this really harps on the inherent irrationality and the inherent conspiratorial ideation of the right. Like, come on. Like, the people who follow Trump, they're so easily pushed down this rabbit hole of just conspiracy theory. They just are. Like, look at their rhetoric. It's so close to conspiracy already that, like, what are you gonna do? I mean, conservatives were going, when you talk about how much Trump has failed in office, they're going to say like the deep state keeps him down, or this person keeps him down, or that person keeps him down, and then you look and that's a Trump appointee. Like, Trump's supposed to be surrounding himself by a bunch of people who are supposed to be like the best people. He has the best people. But apparently, all those people are keeping him down, but he's the one who put them there. You know, Trump's office, I don't even know what Trump's office looks like because it changes on a weekly basis. He fires someone, puts in another person in their place at like a weekly basis. It's insane. All right. He's the one, he has almost complete, I think like actually complete control of the executive branch. And apparently he has no control. So he's like super strong and he's like bullying the Republicans and the Democrats and doing what he wants, but actually he hasn't gotten anything done. So it's the deep state keeping him down or something. I don't know. Like Trump is the deep state. Like he said it himself, like on the debate stage. Like he's the one who paid a lot of the politicians on the stage he debated with. He is the deep state. I don't know what this means. It's just insane. It's just crazy talk because it doesn't mean anything. All they want to do is push their conspiracy and try and get as many people on board for their blatant irrationality to push their political beliefs. I don't know what the end goal of QAnon is. There's probably going to be nothing. With these sorts of things, they're like horoscopes. Listen, QAnon is horoscopes, is white girl horoscopes for conservatives. I'm sorry, it is. For suburban and like rural conservatives, that's what QAnon is. It's just horoscopes, okay? It just is. It can't be wrong. It can never be wrong because if nothing has happened yet, that's the deep state keeping it down. If something that looks like it's going to happen happens, that's because QAnon is happening, and you just need to trust in the plan a little bit harder. It is non-falsifiable. You cannot. You can't debate it. You can't force your way out of it because it always has an out, and it always will wrap back into itself, and it wraps people up into blatant irrationality to destroy their view of the world. It's incredible to me how this could happen. This needs to stop. On Facebook, this needs to be shut down, just like it was on Twitter, because it wraps up people into conspiracy by reaching out to people through things that they like. The health community is a big one. Personal wellness. What's it called? I don't want to say like Asian remedies or something, like the freaking alternative medicine. That's where a lot of people got sucked in. The people who are looking up how to use like garlic and herb, like a garlic and rutabaga wrap on their pussy because it smells weird today, like that thing. Like, and I even like that stuff. I think it's cool, like the alternative medicine for like little things, you know. Like, wait a second, let me show you something. I got this from a thrift store. It's like medicinal, like herbal, like things, to help you out. But it's not like this is going to cure autism or anything. This is like if you have a rash, put some like garlic and lemon juice on it or something. Like this teaches you how to make like tinctures and like wraps and like tea and stuff. And this is all like scientifically backed. It's nothing crazy. But these people will use this and then go like insane with it. I mean, I scroll here. What is this? To help varicose veins. 1 tablespoon of horse chestnut, 1 pinch of witch hazel, and a dash of king's clover. Like, it's cool and everything, but I highly doubt this book is going to lead me to shoot up a pizza shop, okay? I feel like we need to control this somehow, and I think it needs to start with a lot of these big media companies cracking down on this. This just can't keep happening.